Grab your beverages and turn up your interweb. Solving the world's problems 12 ounces at a time. It's Dudes and Beer.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Chris Jordan here with the Dudes and Beer podcast. I am on the road in Katy/Houston, Texas. Out here,
this ain't Katy, bro.
This ain't Katy. We're in West Houston right now.
There were tears about that.
We're over here in the lair of Scary Dad himself, Billy Stuart. With me is his scary wife, Meg Stuart, as well as my beautiful wife and host of the Yes But Why podcast, Amy. And our young son, Dalbus, who will be here soon, inside of her belly. As well as my awesome brother, Randy Jordan.
What's up?
Yeah. We got a nice little assemblage of the crew. We got some Scary Dad here. We're going to talk about, we've been talking about a lot about art and passions and stuff like that lately. And I really, we did an episode of that a long time ago, Billy, you and I, for Talking Sound, whenever I first started that. And I kind of want to visit that this evening because... we just had the episode with we just had the episode with Todd Nevins where we were talking about chasing your dream, go out, go hunt life. And that's the concept of his podcast and blog. And it really got me, because it took me right back to a lot of the things that we did back in the day, stuff like that, beating and, just trying to do something, doing what we loved. And whenever we come back from this message from our sponsor, we will get into passions, projects, and living your life for having passions and projects right after this message from our sponsor.
Have you ever thought about brewing your own beer? Is the urge to brew there, but you just don't know how to get started? Well, Dudes and Beer is here to help. Stop on by the new Dudes and Beer Amazon store and check out all the great brewing supplies and gear today. We have it all, from instructional books and do-it-yourself kits for beginners to 16-gallon cooking vessels, carboys, bottling supplies, and cleaners for all you homebrew pros out there. Everything you need to brew your favorite beverages, even distilling equipment. So stop on by the official Dudes and Beer store today and get your hand on the greatest new brewing essentials. Simply visit dudesandbeer.com and click the Dudes and Beer store tab. Once again, that website is dudesandbeer.com and click the Dudes and Beer store tab today. Happy brewing, everybody. And until next time, drink responsibly.
And we are back. Yeah, so a long time ago, Billy and I went to high school together. We were both in shop class, and that was shortly after we had become friends the year before in technical theater, all that kind of stuff. And, he had some mad skills with wood equipment and with power tools, and has since started ScaryDad.com as well as the Scary Dad podcast. But ScaryDad.com is like a DIY site, and it's all kind of projects, things like that. And I came to him. The whole reason that we're here doing this episode, and even here in Houston this weekend, is when my baby was coming, I commissioned Billy to build me an old school rocking bassinet. And that was one of those, like, I really wanted one. I wanted a nice one. And I was like, nobody I'd rather have make it than my buddy Billy. And let's talk a little bit real quick about Scary Dad. What caused you to start up Scary Dad, Billy? Why you did that and went into that?
Probably a lot of it is that I'm a glutton for punishment, because around the time I started Scary Dad, we had just moved into this house. We had just gone through a 8-week renovation, preceded by it was in the middle of the heat of Houston, July.
Yeah.
Previous to that, we didn't know what we were, I've always been a crafts person, but like whenever we were selling the house and the other place, we didn't know really what we were getting into. We bought our house in 2007, so that was right before the market dropped nationwide and everybody started losing their jobs. And so we had bought our house and we got it for a good price, and we weren't paying attention because we were living in our house and we had no intention of defaulting on our mortgage or any of that. But selling a house was difficult. So we were of the opinion that let's go ahead and put a sign in the yard and see what happens. Well, in order to put a sign in our yard, we noticed that there were some cracks around the house, some things that weren't right, so we got foundation repair guys in there. We had it was about a 14-month-old baby because she became a 16-month-old, 18-month-old baby during all of this other stuff. So we had just a slightly over a year-old baby, and we had foundation repair where they came in and they dug into the middle of our house and they put down through the middle of it, tore up our carpet. We had to walk over plywood to get to our bedroom, and through those Kryptonian plastic things.
Like your house is has ET in it or something.
As soon as the foundation repair guys left, our realtor showed up and said, "Hi, I want to be a realtor." And then 10 minutes after,
that's how it works.
10 minutes or 15 minutes after she left, the foundation repair guys called and said, "Oh, by the way, your sewer line has the neighbor's oak tree growing through it. It needs to be replaced if you're going to try to sell your house."
The hell you say?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we were showing our house almost daily with a dog and a baby, having to get up and just leave at a moment's notice with a giant-ass trench in the middle of our yard.
Yeah.
And our house was under contract in 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we didn't have a place to go because we've been juggling all this other shit the whole time.
Huh.
We hadn't been looking at houses.
No, I take that. I have to interject here. I had been looking at houses. That is all I did. I found this neighborhood. This is where I wanted to go.
There were no
There
houses
were
here.
no houses in this neighborhood when our house sold.
So we were about screwed.
Yeah.
And
That's when you brought some old Indian bones over to this house.
that's what we did.
And the poltergeist pulled the other people
That's
out.
it.
Okay.
It's helpful. It is. No, that's when...
Scary Dad.
That's when I had a breakdown. And he's like, okay, well, let's move to Katy. And I started bawling. And I said, please don't ever make me go there.
Oh.
I'd rather move into temporary housing than move to Katy.
Dang, dude, she said she'd rather have HUD.
She
She did, actually. Yes, she did.
Take a FEMA trailer.
Oh, my God.
She works in the Galleria.
She stayed in New Orleans
tough.
way too long.
Hey, I enjoyed my LSU time.
Oh.
So when we finally got here and we got the keys and we walked in and we had our baby in her walker and we walked in this place and we were like, this is our forever home. Then the contractor showed up to take down the wall that you don't see because it's not there, but damn. That was another 2 months of excitement.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So by the time it was all done, I was ready to just crawl into that garage over there and hibernate. It's
Right?
all I want to do is wood carve.
I just want to
I'm just
tinker
going to make
and...
birdhouses. I'm
Yeah.
just going to make them until I die, and then if anybody wants anything, they can all fuck off because I'm just making birdhouses.
Unless it's a birdhouse, they can eat it.
No, even if they wanted me to build them a birdhouse, I'm making birdhouses. Shut up. Go away. I'm just done. I'm done talking to you. So, a lot of it was okay, now we're in the place that we're going to be, and the baby's still little, and I want her to have good memories instead of memories of the tile dust and the walls and the arguing and all the whatever was going on for that couple of months. So I just started building it out, and so I built up Scary Dad, which was just going to be a blog, which pretty much still is, except now it hosts podcasts, and it was just an outlet for my hobbies. This poor girl over here, she's had to deal with my bands, my sawdust, my comic books, my random gonna go record a podcast with those drunk dudes, even though it's bedtime nights and like all kinds of other stuff. So that's what Scary Dad came out of.
Well, and I just, for me, it's the fact that you found something that you loved, you found something that you always enjoyed, and you locked into it. And once you start doing that, like you were always artistic of nature. Like I said, you had clear skill in shop class whenever we actually built projects and stuff like that. So to see you naturally transition into this kind of stuff was actually great. It was fantastic for me. And to see you churn out what you churned out, feel free to go by and check it out, guys. There will be a picture of it up on Dudes and Beer for this episode. So go by dudesandbeer.com and check out the image of the bassinet that Scary Dad and Billy made for little Dalbus.
There was no and. That was all me.
All Scary Dad Billy.
I built that shit.
Yes. And,
Anywhere else.
it's interesting to me because, I'm obsessive of mind, as my wife well knows, and as she's seen me more than nesting over the last little bit as Dalbus is getting closer. And, it's like I've literally been taking on and burying myself in projects because that is what's comfy. And so
there is definitely a comfort in it.
Oh, yeah.
But, they bury their heads in your shoulder whenever they're just a couple weeks old. And it's, they can't lift their heads yet, but it's still just very endearing. But it makes you want to build up the walls and pile up the blankets and just give them hugs and cuddles.
Well, and what I've found that it really made me want to do is start putting things in place that I've wanted for a long time. And it began with chickens. Randy and I. Randy, oh no.
Chickens are
kids
pretty.
ain't
Chickens are pretty
chickens.
mean after the first week or so.
But Randy and I had a flock of chickens a while back in Katy, and it was just inspiring to me to get back into it and go out.
Well, and you getting into it has inspired me to get back into it now too. Cause I've been flockless for a
few years.
I've been flocked for a few years.
Yeah.
We'll see how long I can stand this flock. And, you might be taking the Jordan Austin flock.
Right. Checkers and
Dawn.
Yeah.
Checkers and Dawn.
We'll see how long I can.
Randy's gonna be like, I drove 6 hours for like $12 worth of chicken.
Hey, one of them's laying already.
Yeah. No, there's that's funny. Actually, both of those things you kind of put those together. You're talking about having kids and building walls and nesting, and I think that's I don't know, when I think of I know part of Scary Dad, you kind of blended, I think, two of your passions together. You like building stuff and you love Halloween things, and you kind of just put them together and did that, and it's something you can do with your kids, something you do for your kids, because really, when you build that stuff, they get a kick out of that.
Oh, for sure.
And
unless he built it to the specs he wants it to, and then it would just scare the ever living shit out of him. But,
yeah. Well, you start off soft.
Thank you.
You start off.
You.
You can have some hands coming out of the dirt. It's all right.
It's been 6 years. Come on.
Yeah. Soft is gone now.
At some point.
As long as the hands will hold your hand.
When they're playing with a Voorhees doll, it's time to amp it up a little.
When you scare really, really Christian neighbors and they stop talking to you after Halloween and zombies, then it's time to
start doing holy water on your yard as they drive by.
I told you. It wasn't because of the Halloween. It was because we used to have all the people over, and we'd all sit around with like Amber and Colin and Carrie, and their little girls were in the pool, and we're all like, "Fuck that shit! Watch this!" and throwing stuff into the yard.
What did you throw at their poor children?
I didn't throw anything. It was just people cussing in the yard.
No,
next door.
that never happened until you put all the zombies up in the front yard for Halloween.
I could see how that could cause something. I mean, yeah, but
I don't know. Christians really like when people raise from the dead. It's a thing.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
they're
Good
into
point.
it.
There is
Good
that.
point.
They're into
Just
it.
without all the gooey, fleshy stuff.
Yeah.
We try to, they gloss
Right.
over that in the Bible.
Right. Yeah, that's that just kind of came to mind as a dad too, and I think any parent really, you once kids start coming along and you start looking for things to, I don't know,
bond
at least
with
for
them.
me to build up walls and start building things of permanence, that I'm not doing this just because it's a passion of mine, but I'm doing it because I know my kids will love it.
Yeah.
I know my kids will have fun with it. I know my kids will benefit from having chickens. I'm doing this.
Well,
That was
one
the
of the
same
fun
thing when I
things
built
about
up
Scary
my
Dad-
flock first too.
I was going to say, one of the fun things about Scary Dad, and anybody's ever welcome to become a Scary Dad. Scary Dad is just an open forum for whatever. It's just my blog that I happen to run, and I'm always looking for ideas or whatever. But this happened, how many years ago was the Easter thing? Before Juliet was born?
No, it was before Autumn was
Before
born.
Autumn was born.
So I went to Chicago to play for a weekend and came back, and the Easter Bunny had poked little Easter eggs and peeps all over my yard when I came home. There were
Sweet.
about 30 to 45 wood carved out, painted peeps and eggs.
See what
all
happens when
over
you leave. You leave Scary Dad
I also
unattended.
came.
That's what
I also
happens.
came home pregnant with, from a different
Well,
way.
well,
Let me rewind that.
yeah, hey, oh,
Several
hey.
months later, figured out that got pregnant right before I left.
Okay.
Let's rephrase
Okay,
that.
all right. Yeah,
Strike that.
ooh.
Rewind.
Have you seen
Hey.
the kid? It looks just like him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. But yeah. So you leave for 3 days, and the Easter Bunny lays about 45 painted objects all over the yard.
Nice.
Well, what happened was right as she pulled out, I reached into the car. I'm like, bye, baby. Have a fun weekend. And she said something along the lines of, don't
screw up my yard.
she said something along the lines of, don't Halloween the yard while I'm gone. And I was like, challenge accepted.
That's right.
That's
And
right. Anything but then.
So the kids go to bed around 7. It's weekend. I'm in the garage. I'm like, jigsaw, paint, and go. And I also had I had Chrissy here. I had my sister to help. So as soon as I would finish cutting out an egg, I was like, make that one pink. Go. Make that one yellow. Go. Make that one purple. Go.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
So
Assembly
I had
line.
An assembly line. And I had it all stacked in the yard. And whenever she came home, she was like, what the hell? I was like, challenge.
That's right.
Yep.
You said.
And not a zombie one.
That's right.
It's not scary at all. In fact, it was extremely pastel.
That's right.
I did it very pastel.
pastel.
It is very pastel.
Nice. That's awesome.
But the cool thing is, like you said, as far as bonding with your kids, now
We each make one for Easter.
throughout the
cool.
year,
Yeah,
I'll
nice.
make different projects, and I'll have a little piece of scrap wood. And as I get a little piece of scrap wood that seems of the right size, I'll go ahead and grab my jigsaw and just cut an egg shape out and then throw it up into the cabinet.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Cool.
when it comes time, I hand out an egg to each person, and then we all paint it.
Oh, that's
Nice.
And then on the back, I'll write our names and the year.
Yeah, see, enjoy the hell out of that because my youngest is just turned 14 and they can give a damn less about painting Easter eggs in the garage. so eat
But they'll come back to
Eat that
it.
up. Oh, they'll come back to it. They'll go,
Yeah.
oh, man, I remember when my dad made that humongous zombie pumpkin thing.
Yeah.
That humongous zombie thing is badass.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really
Because
awesome.
your
That was
youngest
sick.
was the one who used to dress up as Carl from Walking Dead, wasn't it?
No,
No.
well, no, that's my middle one, my oldest
Okay.
son. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, he would, yeah. Oh wow, that was a trip.
Yeah.
That was a trip. I want him to be like Carl from The Walking Dead. Like every year we go to comic convention.
And I don't know why he stopped, because that had to have been a major girl magnet.
It was a huge girl magnet.
Yeah.
Like
it
at
was
this point,
huge.
it might not be.
It was also a bunch of-
given the fact that Carl doesn't.
It was also a bunch of really odd.
The patch gives a whole pirate theme.
Oh,
thing to
yeah.
It was also this whole odd thing of strange older drunk men coming up and grabbing you by the shoulders and saying, Coral, stay in the house, Coral.
Stay in the house.
Stay in the house.
Oh,
You
man,
know,
the first
things
time
like
we
that.
went- we went to-
I think that's what got him
We went to
more than
Comic-
anything.
went to
He was all about the
Comic-Palooza.
girls.
This was like 3 years ago, I think, with the Comic Palooza.
Yeah,
And
that's when we were Men in Black.
no, this was
No,
this
yeah.
was a year before, maybe, or
Yeah.
even 2 years. This might have been 4 years ago. He had,
Yeah.
Everyone in the house was into Walking Dead. Nathan wanted to be Carl from The Walking Dead. Got him the hat. Got the official
Georgia.
sheriff's badge and put it on there and all of that stuff, and freaking spitting image. And we were at Comic Palooza, and he was, like you said, just a magnet. Everybody, no lie, probably 50 times that day. Carl! Right here, Carl!
Carl!
Get in the house, Carl! Get in the house! I mean, it was...
From across the hall.
Crazy.
It was
It
hilarious.
was crazy. And
I have to admit, I was a little bit jealous. I was like, dude, that kid's very popular right now.
Right.
He is wrecking it.
and
He is laying
probably
it
had
down.
40 or 50 pictures taken with him.
Yeah.
And so that was in
Like
June.
cosplayers coming up and taking
Yeah,
pictures
it was
with him.
crazy. And so when Renaissance Festival,
Cosplay.
when Renaissance,
Yeah, but like cosplayers,
Professionals.
like people
Well, I hear
that
you.
like go out and do it.
right. So we went to Renaissance Festival, and he
Nailed it.
Did he
dressed up
dress?
as Carl.
Yeah.
So he's walking around the Renaissance Festival, and even
Hey,
more
ye
people.
old Carl.
Ye Coral, ye Coral,
Get back in ye house.
get back in ye hut.
And so yeah, now not only is he a chick magnet, he's a chick magnet for chicks in like chainmail bikinis and stuff like that, and Buccaneer pirate women, and I'm like,
Hi.
The good-looking women in the chain link
I
thing.
tell you what,
They exist.
They existed that weekend because they took all
They
kinds of
exist.
pictures with them.
They exist.
Came out for Coral.
You gotta camp.
And so yeah, that was 1 year. It was like one and done. It's like next year I'm like, dude, you gonna dress up as Carl? Nah. Come on. Nah.
Do you make him grow his hair out anyway?
No.
That would be
No. After that, I was like, dude, you would still get attention if you would
Yeah.
dress,
He's like, I didn't like that, Dad. You don't know me, man.
Some of it was the wrong kind of attention,
That
man.
42-year-old woman in a chainmail bikini
That's
was
right.
not my version of
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
tell you what, son, I'll take some more pictures.
she had chainmail on her knees, man.
Oh, damn. It wasn't that bad.
Well, you did.
It's like
She said things, man.
it's like Ron White. This old 82-year-old biker chick came up to me at a gig, said, "You want to see him?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, I do." Sorry,
Oh, man.
but
Oh, as much as that was fun, the year before that, when both of the boys were like heavily into Lord of the Rings,
yeah, that was epic.
that was that. Oh man, that was so much fun. You helped with that, Scary Dad. You made
Oh, making
Yeah, the
sword.
Legolas swords.
Legolas.
Go and check out that video that is actually online. You can check out the Legolas sword build.
Yes, the blades. Legolas.
I still feel
Legolas
bad
got
that
blades.
pattern slipped, and I was like in the middle of zipping it out and being like, "This doesn't seem right," but
It came out looking
I'm gonna
great.
keep on following it because that's what was drawn. But,
Right. No, that project there, that year when they got into doing that just took things off for me. And I love making their costumes every year after that. And unfortunately, it was right as they were getting to the age where they don't want that kind of attention from Dad anymore.
Yeah,
So that lasted about 2 or 3 years, and that was it.
yeah.
So Dad gets to make cool Halloween stuff now. Yeah, well,
Well, yeah,
no
but,
more awesome cosplay.
well, and it'll
Make
come
baby
back around.
cosplay if you
I'll
like.
make baby cosplay.
Yeah.
We can go to comic conventions.
Oh, yeah.
with baby and making different things. I
Hey,
accept.
I think the first time I actually met you was at Renaissance Festival.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, we ran into each other.
Right.
And I think
The big one was really little.
one of them was really
No,
little.
it was Juliet.
No, we ran into him at Renaissance Festival when his kid was really little.
Oh, I'm sure, but Juliet was less than a year old.
I thought it was before you guys were married.
Oh no,
Yeah, we did.
I
Nope.
think so.
I thought we had a kid.
I thought so. No, I don't think so.
The answer to the question is yes, we ran into him at Renaissance Festival with his kid in a stroller.
Oh well, I drink a lot, so
I did too. So
Yeah,
we could both be
I
right.
still do.
I also imagine.
I
you
remember
probably
the
bumped
one
into
with
each other
the
a lot
kid.
of
I don't
Renaissance
necessarily
festivals.
remember the one before that.
Well, and Ren Fair is one of those for me that, like, growing up, I absolutely loved it. As I got older, it got to the point that, you know, I really wanted to go about every 2-3 years, something like that, because it you know, it doesn't really change a whole lot. I've heard that the Sherwood Forest Fair is pretty cool. Up.
Haven't been to
Up
that.
in
Yeah.
Elgin? Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't been up there either. I want to go check it out though.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty sweet, and that in and of
Been
itself.
There, I just was there for a separate festival.
Yes, you were there for Sound on Sound.
Yeah, I went to Sound
Yeah.
on Sound Fest because I was like, that seems familiar. I've been there. Oh, it was a Renaissance Festival.
Yeah.
I think I've only been to Renaissance Festival once with you guys. I never went to it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like a thing that I went to when I was growing up.
Yeah, they don't really.
Being from Boston, I can see why that might be a thing.
Don't they have it up there? I just
There's-
assumed it wasn't the crowd that my parents.
There's
were.
one that happens near upstate New York, if I'm not mistaken. That's kind of a
That's
regional
far away.
thing, but I mean, considering all things, it's not horribly far away. You know,
Yeah, if I were a Texan
But-
at the time, but at the time
Yeah.
I was from Massachusetts.
Yeah. they do a lot more.
Minutes, and you're like, "Ooh, I'm
They're
done."
into a lot more civil reenactment things like that up there, and into revolutionary reenactment.
Oh, yeah, I've seen a lot of Paul Revere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah, you know, and it's pretty wild. Like, I mean, quite honestly, probably my favorite town in America, hands down, is Salem. Like, I love that town. It's absolutely amazing, and you know,
Boston's one of
It's,
the places
yeah,
It's like Renaissance Festival all the time, except for also kind of witchy.
Salem's awesome.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
can
it's
do
real
that.
great.
I'm a big fan of all that kind of stuff.
Well,
But,
and it blew my mind.
Just imagine all the Puritans who lived there, like, you know, late 1600s, are like, we need to stop doing this. Why? Because what's going to happen is not only are going to be more people not witches, but there's going to be more witches, and they're all going to infest this place.
That's right.
So we need to just stop chasing Giles.
Yeah,
Stop putting rocks on his chest. Like, quit doing that.
yeah.
Let's
Stop all that.
Let's just be a normal town like
Yeah.
all those other ones that everybody has forgotten.
No,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, let's do it. And then 100 years later, it's like, witch
Yeah.
festival every week of the year.
right.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But
Wonder how many newts have had to die because of that. Or at least gone blind.
at least gone blind in one eye.
Well, if you got a newt, why not just take them both?
Yeah, well,
You can sell them twice.
well, because technically the recipe only calls for eye.
Yeah, but you gotta
That's
you
just
save
one.
your second one for the next time you need to do a spell.
They don't regenerate their eyes.
Is that a thing?
I don't think so. No,
I know they regenerate
It's
their
a lizard.
limbs.
no, yeah, but salamanders, they're actually an amphibian, not a lizard. Lizards are reptiles.
Right.
But
It's
amongst
a lizard-like thing.
amongst
It's not
all
lizard.
amphibians, the one things that salamanders can do to get a little geeky and a little, you know, Doc Connors on it,
A little.
Yeah, because
A
we're
little.
not there already.
just a little, is that they can actually regenerate limbs, like full limbs. If you take a salamander and cut its leg off, like it will regrow its full leg.
Like Deadpool.
But
Yeah.
But the eye doesn't count.
No, the eye, I don't know that they actually regrow their eyes because the eye isn't necessarily an appendage.
Well,
You see.
it should be.
One would think so, but they aren't quite a mud skipper where, like, the eye is outside, you know? I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look into that. I'd have to check that out.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's where we need the person of science
Right.
for dudes
If
and
only
beer.
there was some witch scientists here who could tell us about the, maybe there's a person who's upset with
Well,
the use in Salem.
There's a witch
Spells.
somewhere
Help
being
me.
like,
No,
Oh,
there's a whole Salem section for Rita.
there's a whole bunch of witches listening to this right now being like, damn it, I've been wasting that left eye
yeah.
the whole time.
The whole time. I could have been
I've been
freeze
chasing
drying
dudes
that thing.
around. I could have had 2 for 1 every time.
You know what you need is one of those little Ronco machines to put them in. And you could just, like, dehydrate them and save them for
Now, there's
later.
some guy
Yeah.
who knows exactly the answer of everything we're talking to who's listening right now. Who's like, oh my god, clearly the right answer is this. And he's pissed right now.
Well, because that's the passion of his life. And, I mean, one of
They're
the...
stealing the eyes of newts.
One of the no, witchcraft.
There's 7 billion people on the planet. Somebody's passion is collecting
Newt
one
eyes.
eye
One eye.
out of a newt.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got my...
And then figuring out, like, damn,
Uh-oh. He
So-
got his Imperial
so-
probe droid out.
Your sorcerer.
I did. I just scryed
his
from
scrying
from
stone.
the Google Oracle here.
Yeah.
make sure it's not going
Yeah.
It said,
Yeah. Your scrying mirror.
newts have a... This is from newscientist.com.
All right.
All
Should be
right.
new.
Newts have a remarkable ability to regenerate body parts. In this case, the lenses in their eyes, time and time again, over a 16-year period.
All you need's one newt.
Panagiotis Sonis at the University of Dayton,
All right.
Ohio, and colleagues removed the lenses of 6 Japanese newts 18 times. After each excision, the lenses regenerated. They did so not from remaining lens tissue, but from pigment epithelial cells in the upper part of the iris.
Beautiful.
By the end of the study, the newts were 30 years old, 5 years older than their average lifespan.
Wow.
Wild.
Wow. So basically, removing a newt's eye lenses extends its life, is what they proved.
That's kind of fucked up.
I agree, but were the witches not onto it? It's quite obviously
You were alive
magical.
for 30 years.
Using the eye
Bring it.
I
Bring it
hear
in.
you. I
Bring it
hear
in.
Yeah,
Bring it in.
right here.
Bring it
I
in.
have newt. That matters.
It is magical.
matters.
That's right. That's the ad campaign right there. I have Newt. It works. It works.
All right,
So there
this
you
out.
have it. There
the
you have it.
regenerated lenses from the last 2 excisions were indistinguishable from the lenses of 14-year-old adults that had never regenerated a lens.
Wow.
That's craziness.
Wow.
Perfect
Wow.
guys.
All right, so the trick is, okay, you get you some...
You can't take the whole
Get
eye.
some newts.
You
get
can't
you
take
some-
the whole eye. You got to take just the lens.
No, you take you some. You get you some CRISPR, some countertop gene splicing stuff.
All
you
right.
just splice into yourself some.
Yeah.
Some I have Newt. Okay.
Yeah.
And you inject yourself.
Well,
with
because
it,
we
and you
talked
can,
about that. We
So
talked
what
about in the
happens
episode.
when they do
Cheese
LASIK now?
slicer.
If that's what we're talking about here,
What happens with
Yeah,
the-
we're
Well,
talking.
no.
We're
what
talking.
happens
how
with
long-
LASIK?
Do you
Well-
think when you get LASIK, you live an extra 7 years?
The real question
It's
comes in
possible.
right now. The real question is right now. They can actually
You're gonna
take.
be 100.
They can take a blank cellular lattice and put your cells on it and grow organs. They can grow an ear
Oh yeah.
from your own material. They can grow a liver. So who's to say that in this that they couldn't take like tissue from your eye and regrow a lens?
I'm down with it. I'll try it.
Not to mention the fact that think of the original witches in Salem. If you told them that then, wouldn't they tell you it was magic?
Yeah,
I
that's-
would say so.
I tell you what, if you told them, oh look, you can take the eye from a newt and regenerate yourself, they'd be like, no shit, we knew that 500 years ago.
Yeah,
We were doing that.
Yeah.
We were country when country wasn't cool. Okay.
it's it. It's it. You tell him, Linda.
That's right. we knew that. We knew
But,
that.
it's just... Yeah. I mean, the stuff that's coming out in science now is just... And it just blows my mind consistently. Even to see... we just released the other day the Thinking Deeply episode talking about the images from Cassini.
Nice.
And the announcement that the Euclidus,
Enceladus?
Enceladus, the moon of Saturn could very well hold, or not could very well, but does hold an oceanic world,
Right.
much like ours, that actually holds like H2O, like water,
Just under
and
a crust of ice.
yeah,
across the entire moon, right?
yeah, and just to hear announcements like that coming out, to see images of Earth from like through Saturn's rings is it's amazing to me. It's phenomenal, and it's something that I'm passionate about. Like I love science. It is near and dear to my heart, and always has been, being the dork that I am. And talking about stuff like this, like you were saying, the CRISPR, the home genetic splicer.
Right.
Explain that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Like, how do you gene splice at home?
I don't know. I've never done it before, but
I mean, somebody did, right?
yeah, no. This is some kind of.
Wait, what do you mean you don't have gene splice at home? You're sitting there cooking a kid.
Yeah, but I didn't actively try to splice anything.
You didn't actively try and do any of that?
No, it just happened. It's magic, like the witches in Salem.
It's a little
See,
eye
I'm
of
pretty
Newt.
sure on how I got mine.
No, I don't know what happened.
It's a little eye of Newt. Never
Yeah.
know. You never know.
Snuggling on the couch. Watch out, kids.
Right.
Tell me about the gene splicing.
Yeah, I don't know the specifics of CRISPR. That's CRISPR, I think, or
Yes.
CRSPR or something.
CRISPR.
It's not a homebrewed genetic splicing thing, but pretty much that's what it is.
It allows for the genetic splicing without introducing of foreign DNA bits.
What?
Team of researchers affiliated with several institutions in South Korea has found a way to introduce an enzyme into a cell using the CRISPR technique without having to use a bacterial carrier. The result, the group claims, is a possible way to bypass laws meant to outlaw genetically modified organisms from being used in the human food chain. So in other words, it's a way for them to be able to bypass things like genetically modified salmon.
Not
stuff
only
like
that, but it bypasses a lot of the laboratory technology
Yeah.
you normally would have to have
Exactly.
to do genetic engineering.
Well, yeah, the years that
Ordinarily,
it
you'd
would...
have to put the genetics you want injected into a virus and have the virus injected into whatever cells you want it to. And yeah, this is like the easy bake oven equivalent of genetic engineering, to where you can literally do this.
For food?
Have you ever used
Yes.
an Easy Bake Oven?
I have.
It's a light
Yeah.
bulb.
I know.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It's just a light
It's a
bulb.
40-watt light bulb, yeah.
I know.
And is CRISPR a 40-watt light bulb?
It's
So let's bring the episode back around
the
to what we're
technical
talking about.
equivalent.
I built you a crib.
You did.
Talk about that.
Well, and
You brought it up.
my
I
whole...
have newt, man. I have newt.
Yeah.
I did not catch any newts in the creation of the crib. But you're at my crib. We're having crib time. Let's
Well,
talk about crib.
Talk about that damn crib.
Well, and
That's a badass crib.
it is a badass crib. It's a sweet-ass crib. And, granted,
In the killer segment.
we both got great grades in shop. Billy was always much more precise than I was.
Is it hard to get a bad grade in shop?
Yeah, you can get a bad grade in shop pretty easily, as a matter of fact.
Whenever we were in shop, the kids had this thing.
Son, we saw the beginning of the modern
They
education
pull
system at work.
everybody into like the shop room. The shop had a little tool room. They're like, hey, everybody, come in here. And then as soon as you walked in, they'd turn off the lights and beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to public school.
So, yeah, that was that bad.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, it's
Yeah.
Not a lot of
And a bunch of really smart
No, they
guys
beat up
who
the
thought
teacher
that it
that
would
way.
be like funny to like, you know, put like a file in front of the brake, you know, like the brake is where the blade goes through, where you put your wood up against so it doesn't fly back with the force of the blade. And they thought it funny as well. Why not, man? Let's put a file on the back side of that, you know, so whenever a blade hits it, like teeth fly off, like that
was
kind of
dangerous.
these, you know, people who literally by the time they got to 9th grade could not read a ruler. And when you tell them a ruler is a foot long, a foot contains 12 inches. Find the 3-inch mark.
They couldn't do it.
They literally could not find the 3-inch mark on a ruler when there's only 12 things there.
They couldn't count.
It says 1 through 12. You can't find the one that says number 3. We had one dude that like sliced off the end of a finger trying to join a piece of wood that was like 1 inch by 1 inch, you know, which like you don't even do even with push sticks because that's just stupid.
Right.
Hey, coach. He's like, just get out of my room, man. Like,
Go to the hospital.
like literally, those were his words. Just get out of my room and go to the nurse. Jordan, make sure he gets to the nurse.
It was bad.
There was no
It was
911
bad.
back in those
It was
days.
bad. It was bad. So for us to be able to actually get stuff
Could you make
done,
a bad grade in shop class?
yes,
The answer is yes.
yes, just like you
If
can make a
cut
bad,
off a limb,
just like you can make a
No,
bad
okay.
grade in gym class.
Yeah, I know
You
how
can make
do
a
that.
bad grade in gym
I
too.
did that once.
I know.
Once.
Once. But it's possible. It is possible. And, you know, despite those things in the way, Billy was able to turn out some cool stuff. He made a great turkey. I made a nice box, couple cool yo-yos.
I still got that box.
You do still have that box.
Keep all kinds of nice trinkets.
And-
You mismeasured the top. It doesn't fit right.
Not exactly.
I
but
remember that.
Yeah. It wobbles a little.
It's funny. I remember that being like, dude, you need to. It's not going to fit right. You need to dial over. He's like, no, I've measured this thing. It didn't fit. And he's like, oh
Well.
crap.
Oh, look at that. You were right.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is
I
that
learned.
whereas I had the
Learn by
idea,
doing.
Billy had the patience. Billy had
by
the
doing.
patience and the wherewithal. That's wisdom. You learn by doing. Because you really do, like he was saying earlier before
he
the
really
show.
does have this.
Yeah,
Like, he will sit and stop and look at whether it's the dishwasher or the disposal or the toilet or building a crib and stop, and you can see, like, him picturing all these parts in his head,
It's like
breaking
yeah,
them apart
it's
and
like
putting
goddamn
them back
Michelangelo.
together.
It's like
And
Michelangelo.
he's like, okay, well, we just have to do this. And the only thing I can do is nod and smile and stand there and be like, what do I need to do? Like, just give me the tool you want me to pass you back and forth.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
whatever's going on in there,
yeah.
he has that gene.
Well, it's a meticulous nature, and it's like he was saying with the crib. You know, I sent him a diagram, and it was one that, you know, I was literally in the middle of a conference, and it came to me like I saw myself like
flux capacitor?
rocking myself, rocking my baby in an old school bassinet. You know, like an old wooden bassinet, and I was like, that would be so dope. I would love to have that. You know, I need to talk to Billy and see if he can do that. So I sent him the design, and he, after a little while, once it actually hit his table and hit his project bench, called me up and was like, hey, I need to talk to you about your design. Your baby's going to fall over. So we need to do this. We need to do that. Is that cool? It's like, yeah, man. Like, that's just a rough. Like, do whatever you need to do. Make it happen. And whenever I showed up tonight, it was literally beyond belief. But, you know, it's made out of flame tiger eye maple. It's, you know, mahogany bottom and runners and, you know, beautiful mahogany inlay. It's absolutely gorgeous. And
Yeah.
well, like you said, whenever you're working with materials like that, you have to be extraordinarily meticulous. You have to take care. You have to take your time. You really do have to measure 20 times before you cut and make sure that like things are right.
Well, man, you asked me for a heirloom, and I could have made it out of poplar,
Yeah.
and I was thinking about it. I was like, dude, one of the things that we always have in common is music, and just playing guitars at night, and just
Right.
and one of the coolest things, one of the things you can find, whether you play a guitar or not, you can always find beauty in the construction of a guitar.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted a flame top maple Les Paul.
Same here.
They always, it's always got the the flame top, and then the mahogany sides. And
Yeah. The binding and
then it's going to be a maple neck with it's most likely rosewood inlays. And rosewood and mahogany look very similar. So I was like, man, I'm going to make a little dude needs a rocking crib. He asked me for a rocker, and so that's what I was like, okay, so I could have made it out of poplar and stained it deep and made it look nice, but I really wanted that pop maple flame top effect inlay. And so I was, for better or worse, I was making a guitar from the time I sat down and started cutting it out. And Meg and I were talking about the color on it and how should it be. And she was like, well, you got to maybe this or that, because she sees color better than I do. It's like, maybe this or that. I was like, yeah, but that's cool, but flame top maple. Like,
honey,
I'm trying to make it this, and I stuck to my vision, and it turned out, in my opinion, it's the best thing that I've ever made.
It's gorgeous,
and
dude.
Your baby is going to be.
I've seen,
that.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, you and I, since like literally age to drive, have been hanging out and building projects together. Like, be it electronics projects that we were just hacking together, playing around, be it music that we were hacking together, be it trying to do some beating stuff at one point in life. I mean, we've always had these little cook 'em up schemes and things like that, and to see you actually take something, move on with it, and go on with it, and see it through to this kind of fruition, this kind of craftsmanship, is on a whole nother level, and I'm just so entirely happy for you. I'm proud of you, man.
Happy for you, and I'm happy for little. What is it? DJ?
Dalbus.
James?
Dally. You can call him Dally. He shares the birthday of Salvador Dali, so.
He will be born on May 11th.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when this is airing.
Whether he likes it or not.
Yes.
Also, yeah, whether you like it or not, kid.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's a scheduled baby.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Also, the day of the burning of the Knights Templar. So,
That's
yeah.
probably not a good thing.
No, not really.
It's supposed to be
There's
Friday
a
the
lot of
13th.
really horrible.
No, that's when they were ousted and excommunicated. They were burned later.
Good times.
Yeah,
Good times.
good times. On that note,
Yeah.
Yeah.
talking about passions and passionate things, there's nothing like burning people at the stake. And whenever you're busy burning people at the stake, you should think of nothing but ScaryDad.com. ScaryDad.com is your source for everything DIY, Halloween, and holiday related. Full of projects, recipes, all kinds of stuff, including the awesomely awesome, friggin' sweet Scary Dad podcast with Scary Dad and Swamp Thing himself. So make sure to check that out, guys. Make sure to go out, join their group, join the Houston Haunters group. If you're out here in the Houston area, you know, they have all kinds of great postings, all kinds of great projects that they share, things like that. Billy, throw down some more stuff, because I know you got all kinds of crazy info coming up for Scary Dad soon, man. So lay it down for people. Let them know what's happening.
Frightmare Weekend in Dallas.
Yeah.
Nice.
Scott's gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but Scott's gonna be at Comic Palooza.
Nice.
Podcasting all the guests.
Nice.
We've just we're just rolling up. So if you like us, know us, hit us up. If you want to talk to us, hit us up, because we want to talk to everybody. We're open forums. So like us, love us, tell us what you want to hear, and we'll probably say it.
Right?
Nice. When's Scott going to be at Comic Palooza?
What are the dates on that? Do you know offhand?
It's May 12, 13, and 14, I know.
Okay.
I know he is. I don't know.
It'll be that weekend at some point.
Yeah. He's going to be there the whole
All right.
time.
Rock it.
I'll be out there too, so I'll see if I can find him.
Nice. And, you know, big props to Yes But Why on recently reaching 1 year of their show. Woot to that. Indeed. And
Much woot.
thank you so much for Scary Mom for joining us. And also Randy. Always
Just
great
that dude
having
over
you
there.
on. That dude
pleasure.
in
My
the
pleasure.
side. And on that note, everybody, feel free to go on by. Check out dudesandbeer.com. Check out all the great fun videos of the week. Download the app. It's free. It lets you chat with us. Lets you do all kinds of fun stuff. Until next time, everybody, remember, if you can't be good, be good at it.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Dudes and Beer Podcast. To listen to our audio streams and chat with us live, download the official Dudes and Beer app for both Android and iDevices, available on the Google Play and iTunes markets. For more episodes, content, and information, visit us online at dudesandbeer.com. You can also find our episodes on Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast service. Dudes and Beer is a proud member of the Revolution Digital Group family of podcasts. Thanks for listening, everybody, and until next time, drink responsibly.